All right, so today we're here at day 2. I wanted to go over a couple administrative things before we jump into a pretty deep dive onto what Git and GitHub is. Again, each morning we'll try to finish lecturing everything by 11:30 or so. Today might be a little bit later because of Daniel coming in. But again, everything that you ever need to know about anything Code Platoon related in terms of a schedule is always going to be here. So please don't ask me the question of, and this is just kind of to go across the board, please don't ask me a question that you can find for yourself. If we shared something with you, you can go look for it for yourself first. And if you really can't find it, ask somebody else. And then if you can't find it, then ask me, because then we're fallible people. We could make a mistake. And the reason behind that, one is there's a lot of students and a lot of people, and I'm only here for half the day, and Josh will only be here for half the day. So there's not a lot of time. And two, senior developers are very impatient people. Like, they have a lot of things to do. Most of the time, they're very, very, like, if you've ever played music, like staccato, like very, very short with people. So they will say one letter, one word, like their emails, like Jeff Bezos sends out emails with one word inside of it, or just like, yes. And that's about it. And that's just how they respond. So try to always look for the answer first. And that goes for coding as well. So nothing really big going on. We're going to start our soft skills curriculum starting on Thursday. We call it Beyond Tech. It's skills that you need to learn beyond just the technical skills. And then nothing really else that's going on for this week. This week's just kind of settle in. If you found yesterday to be easy, I did check the cameras at around 7:15 and noticed that there were 2 people here. That won't happen pretty soon. I think there's one day with like 12 challenges, so have fun. Inside of your curriculum, again, it's broken up by week and by day. And then every single morning, starting tomorrow, not today, I want you to fill out a daily check-in. That form is to be found right over here. And it's important for us to know, because when I say, does everyone understand this? I understand. Nobody wants to be that person who's like, I have no idea, and then everyone else seems to really get it. And it's hard to, I understand sometimes in front of people you don't want to embarrass yourself, even though honestly it's not really an embarrassment, it's just where you are at this particular point. Fill out the daily check-ins. I'll ask for it each morning. You can review your previous day's pairing partner and things like that. So that's going to happen. So this morning, I'm going to go over a few concepts. The first of which is the concept of, I'm on the wrong day. Git and GitHub. We're going to cover some JavaScript fundamentals, very, very basic, just to make sure we're exactly all on the same page. And then we'll talk about pair programming. And then hopefully around that time, it'll be maybe 11:30 or so. You can start pairing with your partner, go grab some lunch, come back, and then you have a few challenges to get through today. So the first things I wanted to talk about are Git and GitHub. Obviously, we're using GitHub here. And let me ask the question first. What is Git and what is GitHub? What do people think that is? Sean?
It's a protocol for version control.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
GitHub is a repository in the sky that uses Git in order to post for it.
Sure. Can you explain that in like really layman's term for the second one?
What's the second one?
So you said Git is basically version control software or protocol.
Okay, so like you have to keep track of your changes, right? So if a group of people are working on some software, everyone needs to do their piece, and then it has to be merged back into some sort of master as they go along.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to not like overwrite an entire work, or in order to double check if you've got it right, or someone's going to sort of be in control of that sort of master, and then all the worker bees are going to take their piece and work on it, and then submit their piece, and then at some point that will be checked and then merged back in. So the version control is basically just controlling every little incremental change, and there's like minor changes, major changes. There's like 3 versions of like, changes depending on the dot of the software that they're using.
Sure. Yes, I would just say yes to that. Yeah. So again, Git and GitHub are 2 very different things, but they're 2 different things, like kind of like car and carpet. They have the same prefix, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the 2 are exactly related. So Git is specifically just the software that you use to control different versions of things. GitHub is an online business. It's the company. It's just the name of a company that hosts online Git repositories. So let me show you what I mean by Git being version control software. So Git, when you first get started, let's say let's say, do you remember when you were in high school or college or something like that, and you were writing papers, it's really late, you've written so much stuff, you forgot to save, boom, everything gets wiped away, you're screwed. That's definitely happened to me once or twice, and I ended up with like a half recovered paper, but at least it was better than starting with nothing. So you have to remember as a regular person to save things at different increments so that you could always have like the most up-to-date version of something. Today, there's something like if you take a look at Google Sheets or something like that, this is a curriculum calendar. You can kind of see all the different things we're covering day by day, what we're going to be covering in the afternoon and the morning. Actually, you can just kind of squeeze these all into the morning because I try to get everything out in the AM. But what you can see here, it says the last edit was made on April 4th. And if I click on this, I can see all the different versions of what's happened so far. So the most recent version is April 4th, and it looks a little something like this. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I go to December 4th, 2016, it looks a little similar, but it's something on this page is slightly different. It's keeping, what Google is doing is it's keeping track of different versions for me automatically. I don't have to worry about that. Git, unfortunately, doesn't save things automatically as you go. It's kind of like Microsoft Word. You have to be the one that saves things, and you have to be the one to put more or less a stamp of approval on it in order to save a particular version. So Git, again, it's the act of you saving stuff. That's really what it is. It saves different versions of it, so it's just you saving things. So that's Git. Yes.
Can you change the screen so we can see?
Oh, you've just been seeing me talk this whole time. All right, sorry, remote.
And also, I didn't catch where we were supposed to like upload.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Just a second. So again, sorry, remote, and sorry for the recording. I'm going to do this really quick. Git is just version control software. Just like if you think about Microsoft Word, when you were typing a paper, you have to save it. That saves it a specific version at that particular point in time. If you look at something like a Google Sheet, Google automatically saves things for you. So I can take a look at the version that was last edited on April 4th. I can also go back to different versions. Like let's say we go back to the very beginning when I first started this, November 6, 2016, which seems like a long time ago. So I can also go back to this particular version. So that's what I mean by version control. I can go back from one version to another version very, very easily. So that's Git. Well, this is going to take forever. GitHub is just a company. That's it. Like GitHub just took advantage of the name Git and then just made it like they just integrated it into their name. So GitHub is just a company that hosts online code repositories, or really anything. It's just an online Git repository. A repository is a folder. Think of this as just like an online version of Dropbox for code. Most of the time this is used for code. You can put up PDFs if you want. You can put up Word documents and pictures and things like that. You can put almost anything that you want on GitHub, but you can just think of this more or less as Dropbox for code. GitHub is kind of social. So everybody has a profile, and I recommend updating your profile because especially as you're starting to enter your development like world and things of that nature, I'd recommend at least putting a picture of yourself, a small little description, and I want to point out a few different things. So let's take a look at, I'm gonna make fun of Daniel since he's here. Let's see. What are you, D-Talent 80 or?
No, it's Dan T. 3355.
All right. So I'd recommend putting a picture. Probably, again, you're moving into the civilian world. Probably not one where I'm intimidated by the picture or anything like that. So let's take a look at my my GitHub page. This is something you might want to consider doing. Again, we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about LinkedIn's online presence and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to build it all in one day. Just if you remember to do it, if you want to take a quick 2-3 minute break, just do it. Have a picture of yourself, maybe not looking super intimidating. Write a little bit of blurb. And then you're going to be part of different organizations. The thing that recruiters are looking for the most is this section right over here. This is the number of contributions that you have in any given year. So the more green that you have on your page, the more that you're going to, the more green that you have on your page, the more active you are on Facebook. So recruiters, when they're taking a first glance and they see like, oh, this person has literally no code. Let's make fun of somebody else. someone who's not here. Let's go like Alex. Alex, I don't know, AN Sachs. So a recruiter can quickly look at back into 2017 and see that this person just started learning how to code around September of 2017. This is probably his bootcamp prep time or so. The more green that somebody has, the more likely they're gonna be more interested in you. Obviously, the darker green means you're doing more and more things. And you can kind of see while he was here at Code Platoon in 2018. Come on.
So this doesn't have a Facebook time. You were using it as an analogy. You said Facebook at first. I got it.
Oh, it's kind of like Facebook. It's
Okay.
it's kind of like the Facebook for like online code
Gotcha.
like
Okay.
things. But your job while you're here is to open pretty much as many pull requests, do as many things using Git as possible to get your